Welcome. You're listening to Just Minding My Business 24/7, where we are moving at the speed of God, learning what we didn't know we didn't know. I'm your host, Ida Crawford, on the Amazing Women of Power, the world's leading positive programming network powered by Raven International. Welcome, everyone, and thank you for stopping by Just Minding My Business 24/7. We've got a great lineup today, and it's all about self-motivation. Sometimes when we are starting something good for ourselves, especially in business, we find ourselves surrounded by what I call nayers. These are people who tell us everything we can't do or don't have. I am honored to share the mic with Minister Keisha L. Peterson, who is going to talk about self-motivation. As an entrepreneur, Minister Keisha Peterson is a mother of three, soon-to-be grandmother of three. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And a three-time self-published author of Knowing When Enough is Enough, which is her guide to building your self-esteem. Keisha is also the author of Book of Poems, Volume 1, and I Am Who God Says I Am, under the pen name of G.C. Peterson, and a blogger with a published article, Bullying, When Will It Stop, in Virtuous, Victorious, and Valued magazine. Keisha also served as an administrative assistant for the former Assemblyman William D. Payne, 29th Legislative District. Keisha earned her associate's degree in criminal justice from Everest University. As a minister, with her initial sermon at St. Paul's Calvary United Church of God, where she is a proud member of 40 years. Under the leadership of Dr. Marilyn E. Porter, and International Sisters Strengthening Sisters presents The Kings, Sons, and Daughters Speak. Keisha is also a member of Women's Speaker Association, International Sisters Strengthening Sisters, the National Negro Women's Association, and a Silver Life member of the NAACP, the Tri-City branch. Well, Keisha, you are a busy lady, to say the least.
Yes.
Oh, my God. I
try to stay busy.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. So self-motivation, that's a huge one.
Yes.
That's truly a huge one, because sometimes it's tough.
It really is. I mean, especially when you are just starting, or even if you have already been in a business or anything like that, you know, if you don't have the, if you don't have the support that you think you should have, be it from family, friends, it seems like sometimes we get more support from strangers than we do from those we have known all our lives.
That is so true, and I can definitely relate to that in my own journey, for sure. So tell us, Ms. Keisha, what are the key points that people should do in terms of trying to build that self-motivation muscle?
Well, for myself, what I try to do with the self-esteem, you know, as a current or even a new business owner, we must maintain our own self-esteem. You know, sometimes we try to help others so much and forget about ourselves. You know, we really can't help others if we don't help ourselves first. You know, the Bible says you have to work on home first before you can branch out to others. And, you know, I think with building our self-esteem, you know, myself, I pray, because sometimes I'll get a little discouraged. Like I said, you know, you don't have that support from the certain people that you think you should have it from. So I find myself every now and then feeling like, well, why am I doing this? But then I have to shake it off, you know, and bring myself back to grips. Well, there are people who is going to need what I have to offer down the line. So I have to pray. I stay prayed up, and I remember where I came from. I may not be where I am, where I want to be, but I'm not where I used to be. And I know as long as I stay prayed up and keep myself motivated, I will get to where I want to be. And that's what a lot of people must do, in their walk with doing their business.
I can attest to that. I always say, God is my CEO.
Yes.
I wake up in the morning, Lord, what we going to do today?
Exactly.
For sure. And one of the things, just to add to that, one of the things that I've started doing is, looking at the news. Sometimes it can just put you in such a poor mindset with all of the doom and gloom going on around the entire world.
Yes.
I'm to the point now, I get up and I listen to, I think his name is Pastor Mary, and he comes on like 5 o'clock in the morning, and he actually teaches the Bible verse by verse. He gives you meanings of, what the words mean, and I've been doing that for this year, in 2017. I've been doing that every morning during the week, and on the weekend is what's his name? Stanley. I'm talking about. I can't call his name right now, but anyway, I listen to him, and then I do my meditation.
Right.
And I think with the news, the only thing that I look at is the weather, and then I turn it off.
Exactly.
Because
everything else will make you lose your mind. It'll make you lose track.
For sure. I pray for the world. But at the same time, I need to make sure that I stay focused on what I'm trying to do. Because just like you said, belief sometimes ain't even as big as a mustard seed, because it's like in and out.
Correct. Exactly. And then even with that, there can be roadblocks that we all encounter. I have a few that I listed of different roadblocks that we have encountered, that we can encounter, that will sometimes hinder us from getting to where we want to be. I have work, family, lack of confidence, and finances. And with work, some of us, we have that 10 to 14-hour work day that sometimes we may feel like, okay, I done worked all day long. I don't have time for this. But if you don't make time, at least during break, during lunch, even before dinner or before you go to bed, if you don't make time for your own goals, you're only working to help somebody else's goals. So during your work hours, work day, or whatever, you have to make time for your dreams and your goals. And then even with family, like I said, sometimes, you have those who are not really on board with you. You might have to love them from a distance until you can get to where you can say, okay, I have time for family, I have time for work, I have time for my projects. Even if you have to write it down and stick with that schedule, then that's how you have to be until you can say, okay, well, I can lackadaisical a little bit here, but not too much, because then family sometimes will take advantage of that extra time that they have from your project, And then even with the with the lack of confidence, you got to keep saying. I used to watch. I don't know if you heard Being Mary Jane. It comes on BET. And I remember in the first episode, she was feeling a little down and depressed as far as with her being an anchor. And so what she did, she would write down sayings, positive sayings from different authors on little Post-its and had them all around her house. Beautiful house. But then you look at the walls and you have all these little Post-its on the mirror, in the bathroom, in the kitchen. And it was like, okay, that's a good thing, because you never know. You look at something and you see something positive. You can make it today. You will accomplish whatever you laid out to accomplish today. And she stuck by that, and that is actually what I have started doing myself to help me along the way as well.
Yeah.
And then even down with like the finances. When I first started writing my books, a lot of people, from an author's point of view, a lot of people think you have to have millions of dollars before you can even get started with writing a book. And a friend of mine encouraged me. He said, look, do self-publishing, see how you like that, and then take it from there. And when I looked into it, I was like, wow. I had one of those moments where you get the light bulb over your head, and I just went from there. And being on at that time, I was working part-time when I published my first book. And I said, wow, if I can do this, anybody can do it. You know, so I didn't let my finances hinder me from becoming now a 3-time self-published author.
All right. Well, all right. I just want to piggyback on what you said about the work, the thing with the work hours. You know, I'm still a 9-to-5er. But what I've done is I've kind of flipped the switch in my mind. It's like, you know, my work is now my full-time work.
Right.
So I've kind of been talking to myself, yes, I'm in their dream, but it's a temporary thing. Because when I get off from my day job, I'm working my dreams.
And
it just makes such a big difference. And I have working hours. You know, I normally get home from work somewhere around 6 o'clock. I hurry up, take my shower, eat, and from 7 to 10 is my work time.
Right. That's yours.
Absolutely.
And you know, it's like when you do it, and you know in the end that this is my baby, this is my project. You know, as I say, this is my empire.
Yes, and be proud of it.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Because this is you. You're developing this.
Right.
And it's only as good as you believe it's going to be.
Exactly. When years ago, I had taken a typing class, and I tell you, the things from high school to now, back in high school, it's like, oh, I don't want this. This is the boringest thing I've ever done. But I can remember so many things from that particular teacher, and she taught us this thing. It was called WYSIWYG. What you see is what you get.
Yeah,
if you put garbage into your project, you're going to get garbage out.
For sure. I remember the WYSIWYG terminology. That's the truth, though.
Yep.
So that'll be my new WYSIWYG.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah, so we want to just, basically take something daily. I run an organization for women entrepreneurs, and it's do something daily for your business, something daily. It doesn't have to be a lot of stuff, because a little bit of stuff equals a lot over time. Over time,
exactly. Yeah, and with that, I actually have I came up with my 3 steps, my 3D steps to success. And I have it as decide, determined, and dedication. Where you decide what it is that your passion is and that you want to expand on, and stick with it and not let anybody deter you from that idea. Like I said, people are not always going to be on board. They're not always going to see the dream that you see, because it's your dream.
Absolutely.
And then with the determined, we have to be determined in what we're going to do with our dream. That we have to see that project through, no matter what. There are going to be stumbling blocks, mountains. Either way, we just have to climb over them, go around them, or get through them. It's just that determination. We have to have that determination to see it through, and the dedication. You know, like I said, it's just ours. We work day to day helping others to build their dream. We have to have that dedication to build our dream. And then bring others in and let them know what our insight is, what our goal is, and get them on board, not to get on board to add their dream.
Absolutely.
You know, that's what, my 3D steps to success is.
Okay. I want to go back to decide.
Mm-hmm.
For a lot of people, that could be a real hard thing, because I think the very first step is deciding, because once you decide, this is what I'm going to do, the other two kind of kick in. But a lot of times what happens when we come up with what we're going to do, we also come up with what we don't have, what we can do in the same breath. So in talking about making that decision, okay, there are going to be things that you're not going to have.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because that's the way business is. You decide that you're going to do something, and the pieces come once you're in action.
Right.
And when it's time.
And then, like you said, there are things that we may not have, even once we decide that we're going to go forth to do something. And my niece is so funny, because my niece once told me, because when I started writing, I was having my little hiccups, and my niece told me, she said, Aunt Keisha, we are our worst critic. We are our worst critic. We trying to do things, dotting every I, crossing every T, and if it doesn't look right, but yet if you give it to someone else to say, okay, what does this look to you? They'll say, oh, my goodness, this is awesome. And you're saying to yourself, are we looking at the same thing?
That is so true. That's like I'll go to work and my hair won't really be the way I like it. But then I start to get all these compliments. Oh, your hair looks nice. And I'm thinking to myself, really?
Have you looking in the mirror again, like, wait a minute.
So true, so true. Because we are our worst critics. We are so hard on ourselves.
Yes.
Out the door,
Yes.
I remember, one of my things, and I'm going to be vulnerable here for a minute, is the videos. I am just not comfortable yet with doing the videos. And, one day I'm sitting at the computer, I got the video camera on, and I'm thinking, I'm going to do a video today. I'm going to push through and do this. And while I found everything wrong, I felt everything wrong, and it was like I had to I cut it off and I had to laugh at myself.
I felt the same way. It's like, everybody, especially like going with Facebook Live and all of this stuff, and I was looking at my phone was taking a long time to get the update to go live on Facebook. And I'm saying to myself, okay, first of all, what are you going to do when you go live? You don't like to be in front of the camera, so what are you going to do? And I was the same way. I'm like, okay, I'm just going to go ahead and do it. And whatever happens, happens. And then actually I just did 40 days of Lent, 40 days straight. On Facebook Live. And, as I was doing it, I'm saying to myself, okay, Keisha, just keep doing it. Somebody's going to get something out of it. Just keep doing it. And lo and behold, a friend of mine's, actually somebody I had just met, from off of Facebook, he messaged me. He said, thank you so much for doing this. This is so uplifting. Keep going. I hope you keep doing this. And I just sat back and I said, wow.
I know. And and the way we talking to ourselves, it's like, oh my God, I don't know if I can do this. What am I going to say? And then as soon as you do it, you've touched somebody.
Yeah.
You've touched somebody. Oh, my God, this is just really awesome talking about this. Because it's so true, and there's so many people that go through this.
Yeah. Mhm.
And I always say, you're either going through it, you're going to go through it, or you're just coming out of it.
Out of it, exactly.
We're either in one of those three scenarios.
Right. Mhm.
Wow, it was such a pleasure to have you on this show. How can our audience get in touch with you?
Well, you can either contact me on Facebook. It's facebook.com/Keisha L. Peterson, or you can email me. I try to make it simple. It's Keisha L. Peterson @gmail.com. And then I also have a website as well. It's bit.ly/Keisha_L_Peterson. I try to make it simple.
Okay. I understand.
And then also what I have actually decided to do for anyone who's listening on your show, that they can order any of my personal books and receive a 50% discount with the promo code EXP, D as in David, M as in Mary, V as in Victor, and the number 1. So that's EXP, DMV, and number 1.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm probably going to go out there and order it myself. All right, Miss Keisha, thank you so much. I truly appreciate you, and we will definitely have this conversation again and again.
Thank you so much for having me. It sure enough is a blessing and such an opportunity. Thank you.
You are so welcome, and likewise.
You've been listening to Just Minding My Business 24/7, where we are moving at the speed of God, learning what we didn't know we didn't know. I'm your host, Ida Crawford, on the Amazing Women of Power, the world's leading positive programming network powered by Raven International. Many blessings to you and yours, and thank you for listening.